again, everyone. This is, I am the Amazombie. This is your StarCraft 2 newscast weekly edit number 13. Number 13. There we go. This is, about the sixth one, maybe, that I've done, over webcam, as opposed to just going straight audio. I've employed a couple new features, too. Look, bam! We can actually go full-screen webcam this time. I actually got a brand new webcam, which is, maybe not the top, not nearly top of the line or anything, but way better than the one I had. And the one I had really started jacking up, so I really couldn't rely on it anymore. Also, I've been working on some of the audio issues that I've been having. I tried various. I've tried figuring out exactly where I'm getting white noise from, and I think I figured it out, but I just don't have the money to replace the part yet. So hopefully soon I will get that cleaned up, and we can be done with all this weird background white noise. On the podcast, I generally cut it out. I can edit it out. It's not a problem. But with this, it's a little bit more difficult, as I don't really have the right kind of video editor to do it. I spent actually many hours this weekend trying to find something that would do exactly what I wanted to do, and I couldn't, at least not for a reasonable price. Anyway, off of all that. So, who am I? I am the Amazombie. This is your StarCraft 2 newscast weekly edit. This is a show that I do just because I love talking StarCraft. I mean, I love the game. I love what we're doing, and I just like, I don't know, I like giving my opinions. Not that they're right, and that's something I'm going to talk about today. Why I am so bad at picking people when it comes to MLG. Other events I'm not so bad, but MLG, well, we're going to talk about that. So anyway, let's update from the news from the last couple of days, in fact, since I haven't been having the newscast. So, a little bit of news. Let's see. We did have, what do we have coming up? Oh, NESL Season 2 group selection shows coming up today. And alright, that'll be cool. I'm going to check that out. We also have GSL Code S Round of 8 Day 2. Now, this is the big night. This is the big night. We have MVP. I am MVP taking on E.G. Huck. That's a huge match for both of them. In the end, I'm picking MVP. I mean, as much as I want to have my heart for the foreign hero, MVP is just so good. The other match is Startail July going up against Ryung. That's a hard one to pick. Both of them are really, really good. They're about the same level, too. What other news is coming up? Not much. Not much else has been going on the last few days. Anything else in the general news? Yeah. Oh. Hwasong Oz report to that they are disbanding. That's a hit to Brood War. It's too bad. Other than that, there's not really much going on. Alright, so let's get on with the show. Okay. First thing I want to talk about, GSL. That was the other thing in the news. We did have some GSL, from the other day. We had Pult take on Keen and Top take on Genius last night, or early this morning, I should say. And, actually, I didn't watch them live in the morning. I did watch them just a little bit ago, finally. We had, and the first match was Optimus versus Keen, and that's a pretty easy pick. It was Optimus, and he tore through Keen pretty convincingly. The other match was Top versus Genius, and that's a little bit harder to tell. I think I actually picked Top in my Liquid bet, and that was the right answer, obviously. But Genius, I mean, he's a guy who plays kind of cheesy, yeah, and in the long game, I just don't think he holds up very well. He held up okay, mind you, but he doesn't hold up nearly as well as Top. Top, that's his great strength, is his outstanding macro. So in the end, Top did take that. So that's pretty cool. That's cool. Good to see. Okay, done with that. The other event of GSL, though, from a couple nights ago. Code finals. Now, our Code finals, in case you missed it, were GSL Code. They were Slayer's Ganji facing Marine King Prime. Now, I used this picture for Marine King. It's one of the... Because, in case you missed it, Marine King lost the Code finals. Marine King Prime is a guy that you root for him so much. And you want to see him win. He's been to 3 Code F final, well, 3 GSL. This is his 4th GSL final overall. All right, so yes, this is only the Code finals, but you know what? It meant the world to both of those guys. In case you didn't see, after Ganji won, they were interviewing him on the stage, and I mean, he was crying. He was so emotional. This still means a lot to these players. And Marine King is a guy that when he was at his best, he was so good. He is so far proven to be the yellow of StarCraft 2. This is his 4th StarCraft tournament finals that he has lost. Now, this one, he almost pulled it out. And that's why this one almost hurts more, I think, for him in a lot of ways, because it wasn't nearly one-sided. It was Ganji, who's overall, I think, a better mechanical player. Has more interesting builds. He comes from Team Slayers, the House of Terran, right? They're calling it the House of Terran Innovation, right? And I mean, he is an awesome hardcore nerd baller. But here's the thing. Let's pull that out. Let's put Ganji up there. Okay. While he's good and he's interesting, I don't see him making it that far in Code F. I honestly don't. I think the Code F Terrans, especially TVTers, are better than him. For the most part. Marine King's been there. He should be there. But he lost. I mean, he lost again. It went to Game 7. It was a best of 7. He was down, I think he was down 3-1, and he brought it back to 3-3, or something like that. Let's pull up Marine King now that we're talking about him. Oh yeah, that's what I want. So, he went into Game 7. It was on Metalopolis, close air positions. And it was kind of back and forth. It was pretty tense for the most part. And then all of a sudden, he got a huge advantage. Marine King was winning. I had even typed out ready to update or to tweet "Oh my God, Marine King just finally won!" He was that dominant at that point, and he gave it up. He lost it. He lost that position, and Ganji capitalized on it. That's the one thing about watching Marine Kings play, especially over this Code A tournament, is he's mechanically so good, so strong, and that's part of what got him to all those Code F finals. Before was his just straight up mechanics, right? His micro, his just multitasking ability, but just like what cost him this Code A finals were his weaknesses, where his build orders aren't very solid. His overall multitasking was actually failing him, I think. But his micro and, in general, his macro and a lot of his decision-making was good. He didn't... I wonder... I don't know if he kind of wrote off Ganji as being not as good as he was. I'm not sure, but Marine King Prime, he failed to win. And we get this picture of him. I mean, well, actually, this is an old picture. This is from one of the GSL finals. But I brought it. It was one of the best ones I could find. And this is what he looks like. Each one of these tournaments. And it's heartbreaking. It really is. I mean, I knew in my heart Ganji was going to win, but I wanted so badly. My soul was for Marine King. You want to root for this guy because he is the underdog, and he's been beating himself, or he's so good, but there's always someone better, and that's been his failure, and it's really sad, but it's how it is. That's how it is, and I wanted to talk about this because this is why we watch sports. This is why we watch esports, not to watch some guy lose, right? It's not to watch some guy win, either. It's not necessarily. It's because we have players. These players are humans. There's a deep-seated human emotion inside of all these players, and they work their asses off to try and get where they are. And then they fail. They lose, right? It adds to the human drama. This is what makes sports so interesting. And this is, in a way, I know this sounds kind of weird, but it's good for esports that Marine King's out there. It's good because that's that level of drama that we want to see. We want to see... that's why we root for him, too, because he's us, in a way. He's the underdog, right? He's the guy that can make it to a certain point and then just can't finish the job. And it's really kind of interesting. But I almost wish in a lot of these tournaments and whatnot that they would show more of those face shots of the players or the webcams, you know, when they're showing while they're playing, because the reaction shots are what make the sport even better. Or that, and those shots right after they leave the booth, you know, like Slayer's Boxer, you know, that great shot from MLG, and that shot was freaking amazing. If you didn't see it, it's awesome. In fact, just in case you didn't see it, hold on a second. I'm going to pull it up for you. Let me find it. I know I have it here somewhere because I used it in one of the casts a few weeks ago. Where is it? Not that one. This one. No? This one? There it is. Look at that. That was him. That was the pure joy of winning, right? That was Boxer making it through a super difficult match and just being so happy and proud of himself. And then he goes out and he loves his fan. I mean, it was brilliant, right? But I mean, these extremes in the emotion are what makes StarCraft a great game. One, it's a great spectator sport based because it's a game of hidden information, right? That's what makes it such a great spectator sport. But what makes it a great serious sport to watch and for the players to get into are their human emotion, are those deep-seated pains and loves and everything else. On that note, I wanted to talk a little bit about MLG Anaheim. First of all, Dr. Pepper. I always drink Dr. Pepper while I do the show. Got my Iron Man cup here today. Look at that. So, MLG. I picked a bunch of people to win MLG, or at least to win I picked pool play, and there were some surprises, but overall I was just wrong with my picks, because I'm the kind of guy that I pick from my heart. You know, I pick guys or teams or groups of people. I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, have been my entire life. And until just this past year, I've been in the losing seat, right? My team has been to a couple World Series in my lifetime and lost. And that it was always next year, and then finally we won one. And I'm the kind that when I pick people that I like, I stick with them. I support them until they're totally just off the face of the map. That's the way I pick. I pick very much from the heart. But some surprising things to come out of MLG. In fact, I pulled up the pools here. Ooh, excuse me. Here's some surprising things. People who won open brackets. So Coca went 5-0 in his pool, which was very surprising. But the open bracket winner for Pool A was Trimaster. Now, I don't know who the fuck TriMaster is. I have never heard of TriMaster. So that's always cool. That's one thing I like about MLG is almost always a guy can come out of open bracket that you've never even heard of. So that's kind of cool. Let's see, Noblesse or people who are pretentious about how to say it. He came out of pool play. Who else? Liquid Hero. He did really well. And then, of course, E.G. Puma, who was my pick. I did pick him to win the entire thing. He didn't. He got pretty far, but he didn't win the entire thing. Some of the surprises, though, Kiwikaki went 4-1, and he almost beat Puma in their match, and Kiwikaki would have been 5-0. And, I mean, it was Game 1. If you haven't seen it, watch Game 1 of Kiwikaki versus Puma. I have never seen Puma manhandled the way Kiwikaki did in that game. He had him from the very instant the game started. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he just rolled him in a short freaking game. It was impressive. Game 2 and 3, which Kiwikaki lost both, but were both so close. Puma for the third game on Zelnog Caverns did the imbalanced 1-1-1, which I hate when people say that. It's not imbalanced, obviously. Just because there's a very strong strategy doesn't mean that it's imbalanced. It just means that Protoss haven't figured out how to hold it off yet. It might be imbalanced. I'm not necessarily saying it's not, but what I hate is how people just jump to this conclusion without giving it ample time to flesh itself out. It's a game of strategy. It takes a while to build, to metagame it. I mean, it just pisses me off. But anyway, and Kiwikaki almost held it off. It was so good. One of the other surprises was Nada. Nada made it very far. He actually made it into 1, 2, 3. He was like 4th place, right? Bomber number 1, Coca 2, Dongregu 3, and Nada 4th. Yeah, Nada. And Nada's the one who took out Puma, in fact. And the thing that was so great about this is it was Nada. Nada was awesome. He won, I think, the match against Puma? No, the match against Huck. He ran out there after he beat Huck. He runs out there, and this is this is upper bracket. I mean, or not upper bracket, but this is the very last few. This is Championship Sunday, the last few matches. And he afterwards, he turns around to the crowd and points to his shirt, and it's, with his Nada name, and I mean, then goes and gives Huck a hug, like in the booth. Felt bad for knocking him out. But it was good to see. It was kind of like that shot of Boxer, right? Where you saw his just joy and his absolute... He feels like a competitor again. Because a lot of people have written Boxer off, right? And Nada's getting to that point where he's consistent, he's always there, but he still to this day hasn't won a StarCraft 2 championship at all. And he was 4th place in MLG. It would have been good to see him. Now, when he took out Puma, there were some hardcore games, but the beauty was afterwards, he exits. He was so pumped. He beat Puma, and he exits, and he runs up to the crowd. And I have a little GIF here. That's awesome. Now, in case you can't see what he does there, he goes, "I am Nada," and he yells at he screams it at the crowd, and the crowd's screaming. I mean, it was awesome. It was good to see that fighting spirit back in Nada. Like, it pumped up everyone. It pumped up the crowd. It pumped up viewers at home to see someone like Nada, or like a Boxer, or someone that's a little bit older, been around a long time, just get so ecstatic about still being so strong, still being good enough, and finding that, as Bomber put it before, or not Bomber, Boxer, I'm sorry, finding that fighting spirit. Now, Bomber took the whole tournament, and Bomber is so confident, and he's so good. I mean, I'm not saying he's wrong for being confident at all, but he is just so amazingly strong. And so Bomber took the whole tournament, and he did it just kind of quietly. I mean, he just kind of sat around. But when they lost, he's like, "I'm just going to win. I'm going to beat this guy. Like there's no issue here." And he did. He rolled over Coca. He rolled over Puma. He rolled over, who else? Oh, heck, I don't have his pool play up here. Where is he? Oh, and he went 5-0 in pool. He went 10-3 total record for pool play. He dropped 3 games total. Pretty good. Pretty good. So disappointment from MLG. Big disappointment this time was Idra. I mean, he went 2-3, 5-7, and even I will give him. I'm going to give him those 2 losses versus Show. If you didn't see it, it was a joke. All right, Show had completely got outplayed, and I love Show. I'm a huge Show fan, but Idra outplayed him, outclassed him. Right. Show gets in this position. He's so lost. So he just sets up one last giant all-in and then all-ins. And Idra goes at him with like everything he has, including in both the games ended exactly the same way. The last thing Idra had was a giant pack of mutas that flew in and were just killed by all the Marines. They were just straight up murdered. This gigantic pack of mutas. Idra GG's and leaves. Like, that's it. Both games. And it was insane because Idra was... The first game I think it was the first game where it happened. I can't remember. One of the games, I mean, he was up. It was like 5 base to 2, you know, and he just... The Marines just so murdered Idra's mutas. It wasn't even funny. Actually, it was funny. In fact, I think day 9 on one of them, like, went back and rewatched the replay between the games just to make sure he saw what everyone else saw. It was insane. But that's the big disappointment for me. Other disappointments are here. Let me bring up Here we go. Hopefully, you can see that. So Coca Naniwa went 3-2, Huck went 3-2, Rain, I don't really think Rain's as good as people think he is. Oh, In Control went 0-5 again. In fact, look at that, 0-10. He lost every game he played. Now, this is that problem with the pool play. I believe this is the second MLG in a row where he went 0-5, or third MLG in a row where he went 0-5, something like that. And he still started off here on Championship Sunday. And he took out Drewby, but that's fine. I think they're about evenly matched. I don't think either one of them is really better than the other. Other disappointments, let's see. HeyPro 1-4. And this is HeyPro. As everyone knows, HeyPro has not really been performing as of, the past year. He's been doing this kind of crap 1-4. And it's really sad because he's really good. And in games he wins, he dominates, right? But he just loses a lot. Machine, he's not that good. Show is awesome. Mobilist Bomber, Donger Goose. Select went 4-1. He showed up. Select showed up, and then on Championship Sunday, where was he? Where is Select? I'm missing him. Oh, here he is. He lost to Nada. 0-2. Let's see. Other Trickster 2-3. That's okay. You know, Trickster is a guy who, well, he's not really that strong. I mean, not anymore. He hasn't been for quite a while. He was part of that whole deal with Fruit Dealer and them worrying about not even practicing, and now he's just kind of a joke of the scene. To me, I don't have really much respect for him or Fruit Dealer anymore until they can show that they're going to be pro gamers again and just stop being like trying to act like rock stars or whatever the fuck they were doing. Liquid Hero. Now, Liquid Hero came out of the open bracket. He fought his way through, and it was good. It's good to see. TLO went 1-4, but and he beat Trickster, I believe, was his one win. He beat Trickster with a ton of nukes and stuff too. It was a cool match. It was a cool match. Let's bring bait. Oh no, there we go. All right. Who else did we have? Puma, Kiwi Kaki was one of the huge surprises. We talked about that. Nada, Sheth went 2-3, and Sheth actually beat Nada in the first match that he played. I think he just 2-0'd Nada like right off the bat. Liquid Ret. Now that's a huge disappointment. 0-5 Moonin. No one really thought. No. In fact, how did Moonin do? He went 2. He took out Orly. And then he lost to Hero 2-0. And Orly took out Pain User. It was good to actually see Pain User do so well. He came out of the open bracket. Huang Xin is excellent. He came out of the open bracket. The Muslim and Astoji. That was good. Koi Rice, Orly, Druby, blah, blah, blah. So, it was impressive to see. There was some good players. But Rhett, let's get back on Rhett. Now, Liquid Rhett is a guy who is one day the greatest Zerg on the planet, and the next day just loses. But the thing is, when he loses, usually it's not, like, one-sided. It's not like he just, like, sucked. And that's kind of... But they're usually close games. In fact, almost every game from MLG this time was a close game. So... That was good to see in a way, but Rhett, let me look back up here. Rhett went 6-8 total with a 1-4 record, and then how did he do? Where did he lost to DeMuslim in his first round of championship. DeMuslim is a guy, and then DeMuslim took out Trickster. Wow, he actually did really well. Look at this. He went 2-0 on Cruncher, extended series 4-2 on Kawhi Rice. 2-0 on TLO, 2-0 on Rhett, 2-1 on Trickster. Wow, DeMuslim did really well. DeMuslim's actually, like, after Puma and Idra, like, the third best player on... Oh, and Huck. Yeah, Huck's with EG now. But, I mean, EG's... They're a team that has some great players, some good players, and then some players that really are just kind of there. And if you're wondering who I mean, Machine in Control. So, I don't know. I'm actually, it's good to see that DeMuslim did so well. I hope that he's coming on back and stops injuring himself and all whatever else happens there. But anyway, that was MLG. I think I'm going to be done talking about that. I don't feel like talking about MLG anymore. Other than that, we do have Code S coming up. We have Huck playing tonight. That's going to be cool. Good to see that. What else do we have coming up? Did I have anything else? No, I don't think I did. Oh, so do me a favor. Go ahead and like us on the Facebook. Follow us on the Twitter if you watch our show. Because I don't know if you know this about Facebook, but when you create a page for crap, there's a lot of stuff that they don't let you do until you have X amount of followers. It's so stupid. I'm like, dude, come on. I want to just do some stuff. But here's the advantage. I'm going to be doing a contest here soon. I'm going to start doing contests, probably like once a month or so, around there. My first contest, and they're going to be over Facebook. I'm going to have people, once I start doing it, once I have the prizes, I'm going to start doing them. I'll post something on Facebook, I'll tell you here, and then people respond, and then I'll pick a winner from the responses or something like that, right? But my first giveaway is going to be a GG button. I actually have these on order. They did the pre-order, and I ordered a few of them. So whenever those come out, that's when I will start giving those away. I'm also planning on giving away some t-shirts. I see GSL t-shirts. I might buy some of those. Maybe some Team Liquid t-shirts, something like that. I don't know. I just want to start giving stuff away because, one, I have listeners, I have watchers, and I want to give something back because that's why I do this. I love StarCraft. I love the scene. If you haven't read my original post on Team Liquid or anything, or my About Me on the website on sc2newscast.com, basically, I just want to give stuff back to the community. I mean, that's why I do. I want to have... sorry, had a text message there from... I love this community so much. When I found TL, it was like finding home for me. See, I'm an internet junkie, right? I've lived on the internet for almost my entire life. And I never liked forums until Team Liquid. And even now, I don't like forums, but I love Team Liquid. You know, I love the community there. I love the people and the style, and I've never found a more intelligent community. That's really the only reason why I stayed there. I mean, one, I love StarCraft, right? But there's other StarCraft forums and communities that you can go to. TL's the biggest because of its heavy moderation, but because they, don't say stupid crap or you're going to get kicked the fuck out. That's basically how their view is, and I like that because I am tired of dealing with trolls on the internet, right? I mean, yeah, every once in a while is okay, whatever, but people are jerks. Okay, anyway, I think I'm going to be done talking about that. In case you didn't notice, I did have someone ask me about, so I got a new webcam. I got someone ask me about my posters in the back. And if you can see, now you can see, because of the angle this webcam's at, you can see one of my shelves of toys, my action figures up there. This is my office, by the way. This is my geek out room, right? You can't actually see, but I have another shelf with Simpsons toys all up here with like the diorama sets. And then, in fact, here, I'll give you guys a quick view. So there's my Simpsons, there's my ceiling fan, right? There are a huge chunk of my comics, my comic collection, my one chunk. The other chunk is actually these up here. I got so much stuff and all my rated junk, and I mean that shelf is full, right? That's basically my room, or my office, I should say. So, on that note, I had someone ask me about the posters. For the last few weeks, I only had 2 of these. I was missing this middle Aliens poster. This Aliens poster is actually it's a limited edition, number 1563 out of 5,000. That was from the re-release of Alien, excuse me, the director's cut from Ridley Scott. And they actually now make this poster in a reproduction, but this is one of the actual... So, growing up years ago, I had buddies who ran a theater. Basically, they were guys that good friends of mine, and 2 of them were managers, and the other was a projectionist there. So we had all this free promo stuff, right? This one is, of course, Big Fish, which, if you haven't seen, is one of the best frickin' movies ever. Flat out. See, I don't own many of these movie posters. It takes a very special movie to me. And the third one, it's kind of hard to see because of the glare. That's actually the C movie poster from The Fountain. If you haven't seen The Fountain, it's Darren Aronofsky almost at his best, and it's kind of a pretentious art snob movie. But if you like those kind of movies, it's one of the absolute best. So that's kind of my posters back there, since someone had asked me in comments and whatnot. So I think that's pretty much going to wrap us up for today. I am trying to I mentioned this, I did talk with Justin Agnew, who is from the Star Nation documentary, and he did agree. We're still kind of working on trying to find a time to get him on the show. So, I mean, he's a busy guy. I totally understand if he can't make it, but he said he's going to try, so hopefully we can get him in, hopefully by next week, if not maybe 2 weeks, but I'm trying to get him on the show. I want to ask him more about filmmaking and StarCraft in general, and his whole StarCraft documentary that he's doing. If you haven't checked it out, go to Star Nation, I think it's called StarNationMovie.com. Hold on, let me look that up quickly. Or Star Nation Film? No, StarNationMovie.com. That's right. StarNationMovie.com. There's the new teaser trailer up there. There's also other teasers. There's like a production blog and everything, and it's just this guy looks like he's doing a documentary, and he's doing a good thing because he loves the scene. He's showing a lot of love through these teasers, and this newest teaser, I showed it last week, is just awesome. It's got White Raw, who's just the man. So I think that's going to wrap us up for today. So thank you again for tuning in. Please go ahead, like us on the Facebook, follow us on the Twitter. I do all that kind of jazz. And apart from that, I mean, just tune into the newscast. SC2newscast.com. Go to the blog. Go ahead. On the side, I have links to all that social media. I have a link to our Team Liquid thread, so go ahead and leave us comments there, thoughts, suggestions. I'm very, very open to you telling me that you hate my show, and I'll just be like, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'll try and make it better. Like, I mean, I have no problem with criticism, because you know what? If it's too bad, I'll just ignore you. That's all. That's how it is. Other than that, you can say whatever the hell you want. I got no problem with that. So, thank you again for joining me. Like I said, this has been at the SC2 Newscast Weekly Edit. Go to blip.tv/SC2Newscast for the archives of the Weekly Edit. Go to sc2newscast.com. That's where you can get the daily podcast. If it's not, there's a player on the side. If it's not up on the player by the time you look, but the post is up, click the title link of the post, and it'll link you directly to the MP3 for the download. So, apart from that, thanks again. We'll see you soon.